All right. Back with two tables of 10 and L Zoom. Played a little bit. Still, this hasn't gone particularly well. As we get an 8x raise on the button here. That's a little bit weird. 9-10 of spades. I think it's okay to call with this. And get a pretty reasonable flop. Open up with the aces. We're definitely going to bet here. Gonna bet kind of large. Is he going to have a 6 very often? Is he going to have hearts? I think we might just want to bet real small. Surely a 6 raises on the turn. Ace 10, huh? Okay. Not sure about my play there. Really not sure about his play. But at least we do win the hand. So I'll play for about half an hour. Played a few hands earlier. Didn't go particularly well. Had some slight connection issues. So stopped the session and started again. And we don't flop anything here. When there's two people in the pot, I tend to try and play fairly conservative when you're up against two people. Multi-way pots, I want to do less bluffing. Now, my last video, since I played 10 and I've noticed my 3-bet percentage has been quite low. So I want to try and increase that, try and look for some spots where maybe I can put in some 3-bets. This is happening rather a lot. He's got a very high 3-bet percentage. We're going to go for a 4-bet bluff. Maybe not the best hand to do it with, but we get called. We do flop a flush draw. This is probably going to be a pretty decent board for us. So what do I want to bet? Just don't have to bet too big. I think that's fine. And yeah, I'm just going to bet again. Well, it should be a shit river. What should we do here? Got ourselves in a pickle. Is this worth shoving with? Can he have hands like King Jack? Will that ever... I think I probably just have to shove, but kind of stinks. I have no clue whether that was the right play. One aspect of it is me just getting myself in a bit of trouble by perhaps playing a hand I shouldn't have been playing. I think for one big blind, I guess I better see a spade. Okay. So that Jack 9 of clubs hand would be an interesting hand for somebody who knows what they're doing to look at. I don't know whether I played it properly. Perhaps I just shouldn't be 4-betting it pre. It's just I've been 3-bet quite a lot in that spot, cut off against button. So I'm going to try and add in a few 4-bets. Whether Jack 9 of clubs is the best type of hand to do it with, probably not. I think post flop, flop is fine, turn is fine, river is a really awkward spot. And I don't know whether shoving serves any purpose, whether he's just going to fold everything that I beat. We're playing another hand. I don't think we really want to get check raised here, particularly. So is it best just to check and try and hit a spade? We could also have the best hand again, hands like 9-8 suited, so either is probably okay. I'm really looking for a check here, mate. We may. There's no real reason to bet. Yeah, King Jack. So we were never going to get rid of him. And three bet again. This time we're just going to let it go. Queen Jack off actually from the small blind. If I thought about it, that might have been a spot to three bet. And looking at my stats in Poker Tracker, one area that it thought I was probably a little bit too tight, I think, was from the blind. So I do play too tight from the blind, so that's something I got to look to address. King Queen of Spades, easy open. Three bet again. I think this is an okay hand to call with. It's a decent, it's quite a large three bet. We are out of position. This guy's got a high three bet percentage, very high three bet percentage. So I think we are going to go ahead and call. And he really can't like this board. I wonder if this is an okay board just to donk on. We're going to try a half pot donk. Again, experimenting with certain plays. That's obviously a board that's bad for a three better. Any sort of high card combo, he's really not going to love that board. So perhaps that's a decent play. I'm not sure. I'm sort of experimenting with certain plays, that being one of them. Okay, so pocket threes against a min raise. I think probably just want to call, although as often the case, it's very tough to play these hands. Against a pot size bet, just fold. It just feels kind of weak doing that. I don't know if I want to start three betting out of position with stuff like pocket threes. Okay, king's here, and the guy opens, got very active stats, but across a very small sample, so we'll just go to 10. And seven's out of position here, we'll just throw away. Get called. Um, Obviously, one of those flops, it's not terrible. He does have some Queen X. Fuck me. Really bad turn. Gonna have to slow down. Not gonna fold, I don't think, unless he bets ridiculously big. Think against that. Like, is he ever taking a hand like jacks or tens? I don't know. I can't help but feel this is probably just a fold. Whether he takes a hand like jacks or tens and then just simply turns it into a bluff. Feels frustrating at the moment. I don't know whether we're just getting pushed around or whether these are just really, really crummy spots. Because that board, two queens and an ace, when you've got pocket kings, really is not the board you want to see. And I would definitely check that turn if I had pocket aces or ace king or ace queen. And four-way pot, we've got no hand. And open up the tens, we get a nice flop. We can go half. I think half pot's okay here. Often go third on this board. And yeah, I think we'll keep betting. Really don't think he's going to have three or reduce very often. He's going to have a lot of like fives through tens, fives through tens. Let's see. Unless he has exactly pocket sevens, I think we just want to bet. And it worked out. So what did he have? Must have had something like eights. Sure, that must have been what he had. Let's have a look. And he had pocket fives. Okay, so we got the maximum, I think, there. So ace eight of hearts. I was going to just fly for a three bet there, but he doesn't have a big stack, so I think it's okay actually just to play this hand. And there's a call. A little bit loose in the small blind. I think it's okay just to check. I think checking with top pair and no kicker is okay. Don't necessarily want to bet and get raised. Now I think betting quite large is the best play. You get called by a lot of worse hands. Obviously, a lot of draws out there. Okay, suddenly getting a lot of trash, so not much action for the moment. Okay, so we're about to go for a three bet with the king ten of diamonds, and he beats me to it. Jack ten of clubs, raise it up, and I'm going to go for a half pot bet on this board. So not a huge amount of action. A lot of these sessions are playing quite similar, just everything's pretty cagey. The only big hand I had was the pocket kings, which didn't go well. I had a couple of other hands in like pocket tens and the jack nine of clubs. Jack nine of clubs was the interesting hand, where for all I know, I just absolutely butchered it and happened just to get lucky to win the hand. We're going to check all here with our very bad ace. And now I think we can bet on the right here, and we're just going to give up with the ace and hope to check it down. Unlikely that it's any good, but somehow it is. What were we up against there? We're up against king three and eights. Okay, my ace here, I think I can just value bet. Don't think I can go too big. I think half pot's fine. Obviously, try and get called by a king or a jack. Um, It's a little bit thin. And we'll go for a squeeze here with the ace nine. Get called. Get a fucking terrible flop. Seventh and a heart. I think it's okay to call. And I'm going to check back. There's ace nine of hearts. We'll check it back again. We could be good. I mean, you can have hands like king, queen, all those sorts of hands. Immediately bets huge. Seven, ten of hearts with the hard draw. I think we can call pretty obviously. And we have to check and lose to what? Queen jack. Oh dear. Wanted to check raise to the seventh and a hearts, didn't get the chance. Here, I think unfortunately we're just going to have to fold. I think he has lots of pocket pair type hands. Maybe he does also have some Broadway cards as well, but I think it would be a bit optimistic to call a big bet like that with ace high. So roughly halfway through the session. Probably should have opened that ace four. This time with 9-10, I think we can just go ahead and call. Not really clobbering the flops. We've got two callers here. We're out of position. I think we're going to be checking and calling with our ace king. I don't see any real reason to start betting. Well, small chance or ace high is good, but probably not much chance. Yeah, pocket fours. And the other guy had. Don't know. Doesn't matter. Open it up and yeah, nice looking board here. We're just going to go a third on a very, very dry board. Get called. So there's a three. I think we might go for the old bet check bet line. Don't particularly want to get check raised, so we'll go bet check bet. And should be a pretty nice river. And against that sizing, I think we can probably raise. I don't think he's going to ever have a better hand. Okay. Queen 10 off. Queen 10 suited I defend. I'm trying to get. I said earlier that I was being too tight from the blinds. Maybe that's too tight. Maybe that's too tight. We'll get an interesting hand in a minute. I'm sure we will. Hey, be patient. If anyone's still watching. Well, that 3-bet percentage is not exactly rocketed up. It's at 3% after 170 something hands. Very, very low. But I'm not sure I've passed up too many opportunities to 3-bet, maybe a couple. Maybe that's one, but the guy's got 48 big blinds. Earlier when I squeezed with the ace-9, got myself in a bit of trouble there. Open up with the ace-4 of hearts. We're going to get 3-bet. Or we're just going to get people calling. Massive, massive squeeze. Not much we can do against that. Okay, so a playable hand here. Ace-Jack of diamonds. Do we want a 3-bet under the gun raiser? What are his stats? He's got quite loose stats, but he doesn't raise very much. Okay, so we do flop a nut flush draw. Gets half pot. Again, I can comfortably go either way here. I generally like to call. Don't want to get it all in with just a flush draw. Kind of wish I had now. He quickly checks. If he has a king, he's never going to fold for like this sort of size bet, like a 2/3 size bet. So we'll go with 2/3. I swear my cards must be on the screen at times. Ever get that feeling like your bluffs just never work? But when you have the nuts, everybody just like here. Like I get the feeling that the guy can see my 7 high. Oh boy. And we're gonna fold. The ace jack of diamonds. Should I 3-bet pre? You can 3-bet pre, but 3-betting under the gun raiser with ace jack is a little dicey. Certainly could raise the flop, although I don't think calling is a bad play. And when I have the 7-6, the guys all fold. One guy 3-bets me. I get the kings. All right, that should mean we're going to get 3-bet with this. Don't you guys disappoint me. Okay, we get called. And we get a pretty reasonable flop. We'll just c-bet for a third. And we'll c-bet for a third with the eights. Here, I'm happy just to check this back and call pretty much every river. We have to call. The way we played it, we're going to have to call, but 9-10 gets there. He can have hands like King 10 or King 9 that have missed. He can also have a 6, which is always a possibility, of course. Why not? This is at the moment, my start at 10-0 has gone really badly. And I don't, like a hand like that, I'm not sure that I'm doing anything massively wrong. It's just not working out. Now on this one here, he can have a jack, he can have spades. I think we're going to go for a very small bet. Obviously, we're going to fold if we get raised. He's also going to peel, oh God, with lots of trash, but it doesn't feel like that's what's happening at the moment. It feels like we're just wandering constantly into strong hands. I don't see this ever being anything other than the jack, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these people are much, just a lot better than those at 5-L. I'm not sure. Is that just a bad bet? Probably. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Just got to adapt to the way people are playing. But on the hand here with the Queen 10 against the 5-6, like the guy bets, you call. He's just got trips. He's not doing anything special. He's just called on the flop with a hand where it's a little questionable, and then turn trips. Get three bet in suited king ten of clubs in position. I think it's okay to call with this. And we do flop trip kings. And we get a tiddly continuation bet, which is we're just going to call with everything here, not going to fold. I guess we just bet. We're just going to bet very small. But if we get check raised, I figure we're just up against a better king. Obviously, I'm never going to fold this. Like if he has aces or queens or a hand like that, that's what we're really trying to target. Yeah, so that's what I assume he probably had then. So that worked out. So we had a little moan, little whine, and he had pocket queens. So I think we probably got about the max out of that. But again, the hand the guy three bet with was a real hand. So getting three bet more, but once I see what the cards are, it's often like making sense why the person has three bet. They've got a good hand. Okay, so we'll play for just about 5 more minutes or so. Maybe a few less, or see if we can get a couple more interesting hands in. We'll go for an ISO here, under the gun limp. Haven't seen too much of that. There's been quite a lot less open limping. And then we get called by the small blind, who's playing half a stack. And we will just go for a really small continuation bet. And we'll go for the small continuation bet on the right here with our king, betting into two players. We get called. Yeah, I figure he is going to have quite a lot of ace X here. Hands that we call pre-flop. Stuff like ace jack or suited aces. And my king jack here. We'll just go for a check. A little pot control. We'll check back our king queen. Gonna have to fold. King jack of spades here. I don't think we want to do anything other than just call and check it back and check it out. And hopefully he checks. Don't really want to see a bet. It's not a great river. Well, for that sizing, pretty clearly we have to call. Jack 9, why not? Had a lot of outs there. He had the full two outs. We'll just go for the third C bet on this board. We'll just go for a. I'll go for a check back with the queens. We're on board with the turn card. It does appear our opponent probably just has nothing, but we'll bet and hope that we get check raised. We don't. So we'll sit out the next big blind. And yeah. Kind of surprised that guy with the Jack 9 didn't bet bigger. I thought you would have expected him to. He's just hit really, really great river. And raises up out of position with the ace ten of spades. Do not really get a very favourable flop, so we'll just bet thirds we would here with everything. Immediately get a massive raise. Dear. Ace Jack clubs, we do get cool, and we flop reasonably well, so we just go for a standard third pot. Not a good turn at all. Don't want to bet and get check raised, so we will check back. But we can't complain about the river unless he also has an ace, in which case we can complain about it. We'll just click it. There, we're just trying to get it. Okay, okay. Wow, look at that. In fact, the turn card was fantastic and the river card was terrible. So he flopped two pair though. Flopped two pair. Okay. And we will go for the three bets with ace five of clubs to end the session. Get called. Don't really love the flop. I'll go for a pretty sizable continuation bet though. Oh god, this has been a fucking nightmare. How is this happening? And I haven't seen any fucking bluffs yet. How is this happening? Like if you have pocket aces, this just doesn't happen. And if I go all in here, I'll get snapped off by what? By a better hand. So just flushing away any money we might have made in the session. But I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I should look at my stats and see if there's any real major sort of problems. But I don't know if there is. We're really not flopping much in those sort of spots. Maybe just like the ace five of clubs, just don't three bet pre. But I think it is a three bet at least some of the time. Don't want to just get into the exercise of only three betting when I've got a strong hand. Okay, I think we want to raise this top and bottom. Get cool in both spots. It's getting dicey. I don't think anybody has ace king though, so maybe that's not a bad card. Like, no one should have ace king. I don't know what they do have. What's the right play here? Is the right play here just to shove? I think it probably is. Okay, so a weird session. We ended up slightly up. I would really love if someone who knew what they were doing would like analyze some of it. Even the last hand there, uh, I don't know what my opponents have really got. They both call pre-flop, bet the flop, small blind bets the flop, big blind just calls. I raise. They both call. Check bets three big blinds into 46. I think going all in there is okay. It needs it needs protection. I don't see anyone having queen 10 or a set or ace king. So I think ace 5 there really ought to be the best hand just about every time. But I don't really want to see a bad river come off. Anyway, waffle on. 34 minutes into the session. What do we win? $3 or something? Yeah, $3.50. Up a little bit. At least it was nice to have a winning session. Um, Still got plenty of work to do on my game, getting used to playing 10 and L. Anyone still watching, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.